Remember, mwana washe, muranda kumwe.
Hi, and welcome to Gogo Diaries Story Time. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the story.
Our story today is about a boy named Dzidzai. Dzidzai came from Zimbabwe. He came from a very rich family. And from the time he was born, Dzidzai had everything that he wanted. He did not have to lift a finger. If he wanted food, somebody would give it to him. If he wanted clothes to wear, somebody would wash them for him and make sure that they are ready for him. Everything that he wanted, he had. He was chauffeur driven to school. There was a driver who was just there to take Dzidzai anywhere where he wanted. His parents wanted the best for him, and they did everything that they could to make that happen. Now, when Dzidzai finished his high school, it was now time to go to university. So he got a place in Stockholm, in Sweden, to learn, to do his degree. Everybody in the family was so excited that Dzidzai could now go to university. When he got to Sweden, he had instructions of how to get from the airport, Arlanda airport, into the city. So he did that. He got to the university. He was given a room to stay where he shared with another young person from Sweden. Now this was a shock for Dzidzai now, because all of a sudden there was no one to carry his bags for him. There was no one to take him into the city when he wanted to go to the city. There was no one to clean up his room or to wash his clothes. All of a sudden, he had to learn to do things for himself. Now, Dzidzai found this very difficult. So he did the minimum that he could. He did not clean his room. His roommate would clean on some days, but Dzidzai never cleaned back. So in the end, the other students at the university that were in his year did not invite him to go with them when they were going to visit the city, when they were going to do something that was nice and enjoyable, because he was a difficult person to live with. He was a difficult person to deal with. And everybody thought, let's just leave him alone. Now Dzidzai became very lonely and very miserable. So he called his dad. Dad, yes, my son, can you please come and get me? The father said, why? Oh, it's so terrible here, it's horrible. I'm lonely and nobody's talking to me. I even tried to give them presents, things to eat and what have you, but they're still leaving me out. So the father said, okay, son, just hold on. So the next thing he heard, hello, Dzidzai, my grandson. That was his grandmother on the phone. Oh, grandma, please, just tell daddy that he needs to buy me a ticket. I want to come back home. Why? Oh, it's so terrible here. Nobody's speaking to me. Nobody's talking to me. They leave me when they go into the city. I'm all alone. No one is cleaning the room, and the person that I share the room with doesn't talk to me. Oh, grandma, it's awful. It's awful. I just want to come home. So grandma said, you know what, Dzidzai? It's not as bad as you think. Oh, really? It's okay for you, grandma, to say that because you are far away. You are in Zimbabwe, you are comfortable there. I'm not comfortable here. So she said to him, look, for the next 2 weeks, I want you to do something for me. What, grandma? In the next 2 weeks, I want to be home. No, my grandson. Just listen. I want you to start cleaning up your room. Start helping others out, doing your dishes, making sure that the other person whom you are sharing with also rests. But that's awful, grandma. Me cleaning. She said, just try for the next 2 weeks. Then we'll talk in 2 weeks. Okay, if you say so. But it's not fair. It's not fair. And grandma said, don't worry, my son. We'll talk in 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, Tidzai woke up every morning and tidied up his room. And if he had any coffee, he cleaned his cup and all that. And at the end of the day, he realized after the first few days that his roommate all of a sudden started talking to him. And by the end of 10 days, the other young people in his year group were now saying, Zidzai, let's go into the city, let's go to the park. Have you seen the old city yet? We're going to show you. He could not believe it. By the time 2 weeks came, Zidzai was extremely happy and comfortable and a part of the student body. He could not believe it. So his grandma called. Hi, Zidzai. Hi, grandma. Oh, you sound different today. Yes. Do you still want to come home? No, grandma. I'm fine. Are you sure you're fine? Yes, I am. What happened? You know, grandma, I did what you told me to do. And it worked like magic. Now everybody's talking to me, and when they are going to the city, they call me. I cannot believe it. It is so lovely, grandma. Thank you so much for telling me and advising me what to do. But how did you know, grandma, that this would work? And she said, you know what, Zidzai, in Shona, we say, mwana washe, muranda kumwe. And that means you may be a prince in Zimbabwe, but you are not a prince in Sweden. In Sweden, you are just an ordinary child. So when you come to Zimbabwe, yes, you get the comfort and the respect and everything that you have been given since birth. But when you visit other countries, when you go to other people's places, remember, you are like an ordinary person. And what an ordinary person does is what you do. Okay, my grandson. Oh, thank you, grandma. I wish you had told me this before I came. It would have prevented me from suffering like I did. Oh, I'm just glad, my grandson, that it all turned well. Remember, mwana washe, muranda kumwe.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.